Hi everyone, I'm Gayle. Welcome to this practice, which we're going to be getting up and down, off the ground, up in the air, floating around. We're just going to have fun because, as kids, we were up and down all the time. And as adults, a lot of times we end up sitting at a desk in a car at the kitchen table, and we don't get all the way down to the floor and get all the way back up again. And that's a really important function or skill to have. So even in yoga classes, a lot of times we'll kind of just do a gentle warm up and then maybe do all standing poses, and maybe all seated poses, and then maybe all poses lying down. We're going to mix it all up and build some energy and momentum, and just think of going with the flow and having fun. So let's start on our backs. Let's rest your arms by your side. And tilt your pelvis, the bottom of your pelvis up a little bit. So a little bit of a posterior tilt so your back is flat on the floor without trying to press it down. And notice how your breath expands away from the floor as well as sinking into the floor at the same time as the lungs expand to invite the air in. And as you relax, notice that everything softens at the same time. So first, just take a moment to get in touch with your breath and the movement of your body as you breathe in and out through your nose. Let your shoulders fall back to the earth and let your low back sink into the earth. Just imagine this as a clearing, letting go, releasing, and preparing for the practice ahead, for our life ahead of us. Walk your feet towards your hips a little bit, and you can even bring your hips a little bit towards your feet. Turn the heels out slightly and lift and spread all your toes. Keep the spreading of your toes as much as you can. Slowly float the toes down. And then picture the tripod of your foot, the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and the center of the heel. These are our balance points. These are places in our feet that we want to feel fairly even, so that we're not leaning forward or leaning back or tilting from one side to the other. And that can really help in our balance. So with the heels just feeling that they're out slightly, so your knees are actually tracking your toes and they're not splaying outwards. Press down into the earth, curl your tailbone up. Keep pressing into the earth, pressing into the big toe mounds. Maybe lift your shoulders and bring the shoulders in towards each other a little bit. And maintain this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then let your shoulders slide apart as you lower down vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping that posterior tilt, keeping a strong tuck of the tailbone, so that you unfurl your spine and let it slowly sink down. And let everything relax. So we'll do that 2 more times, starting with lifting and spreading our toes, lowering the toes down, feeling the tripod of your foot evenly balanced. Hug your legs in towards each other, push into the earth, especially into the big toe mound, and let your hips float up. Keep your chin just slightly lifted, so your neck doesn't flatten. And then push down a little more, hug in a little more, float up a little bit more. You can wiggle your shoulders to help you with this. And we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to slowly lower down. Keep your glutes turned on so you don't drop down, but you float down and expand down. And let everything settle. Take a couple of nice, full, easy breaths here. And we'll do that 1 more time. So lift and spread your toes, engage your feet. Slowly float the toes down and balance on the tripod of your foot as you press down into the earth, squeeze up, lift your hips up nice and tall, maybe walk your shoulders in a little bit so they can support the lift of your pelvis. Keep your knees squeezing in towards each other and just puff up. Do not turn your head in this position. It might not be so good for your neck. And then one more breath here. And again, slowly float down. Float and extend down. Keep your tailbone tucked so that your hips lower down last. And let the weight of your pelvis settle into the earth. And just take a few breaths here just to let things settle, to notice how you're feeling. And hug your knees into your chest. And we're going to round our spine and rock back and forth. So using a little momentum, let your legs swing over your head. Let your hips lift up and lower down. And then we're going to pause in Navasana boat pose. So you can use your hands at first to pull your legs towards your chest and draw your chest towards your legs, shoulders nice and open. And if you want, you could release your hands. And if you want, you could straighten your legs. Notice the sensation in your legs to keep the legs lifted and not round your back too much. Good. And then roll back and forth a couple more times. And you have the option to come into Navasana like we just did, or see if you can rock your way up to standing. A few little tips. When you're rocking your way up to standing, you want to try and tuck your heels in as close to your hips as you can. Keep your chin tucked so you keep the forward momentum, and then press down to lift up. So let's just get a few little rocks back and forth first. And then we'll see if we can rock all the way up to standing. And reach your arms up. And exhale your hands to your heart. So let's say you didn't make it up. No big deal. But you can, as you're starting to come up, you can give a little push with your hand to help you lift up. You could also, if you have yoga blocks, use some blocks and give a little push off those. And with practice over time, you might feel that it's a really fun, easy way to come up to standing from the ground. So we're going to practice that 2 more times. On your inhale, reach up. And on your exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Lean forward and slowly lower your hips down. Rock back and forth 2 times. And on your 3rd time, let's see if we can come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do that 1 more time, a little bit faster. So lower down. Lower onto your back. Rock your hips forward and back. 2 times. On the 3rd one, we'll see if we can come all the way up to stand, reaching your arms up. And exhale your hands towards your heart. So notice like how invigorated you feel, and like there's this sense of energy that you build from just being aware of where your body is in space. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, forward fold. Place your hands down, step back into plank. Puff up through the back of your shoulders, through your upper back. Grip the mat with your hands to engage your hands. Keep your hips and your belly lifted. And then float your right leg up. Point your toes. Lower your right leg down. Float the left leg up. Lower the left leg down. You can lower your knees or keep them lifted. Slowly lower all the way down. Point your toes, curl up into a brilliant cobra. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Think of the back tips of your shoulder blades pressing forward, opening up through your heart. Press down into your toes as you extend your heart forward to lower down. Then curl up, again into your cobra. Exhale, lower. 1 more time, inhale, curl up. Exhale, lower, reach your arms forward. And then lift your arms and legs up. Exhale, pull your elbows back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, lift and pull back. Inhale, reach forward. One more time. Exhale, lift and pull back. Lower your hands down. Open up into your cobra. Slowly lower back down. Tuck your toes. And press back. Downward facing dog. And lower your knees to the floor. Straighten your right leg out. And pick it up. Swing it over to the left. Gaze over your left shoulder at your right heel. And stretch your ribs to the right. And then with both toes tucked, lift your hips up and back. And lower down. And lift up and back. And lower down. Lift up and back. And now we're just going to pivot on the left foot, bringing the left heel down, pulling the right knee forward, and extending your leg out to the side. You can have your foot on the floor or lifted. And bring your left hand down. Stretch back into down dog splits. Bend your right knee. Pivot on your left foot. Bringing your right foot to the floor. Open up, wild thing. And come on back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees back down. Do the same thing on the other side. So pick your left foot up. Reach it over to the right. Push out through your left heel. Extend through your left side body. With both toes tucked, lift up and back. One more time. And then we're going to pivot the right foot, bringing the heel in, bringing the left knee forward. Press into your left hand, extend out through your left leg. And bring your knee back in, bring your right hand down, pivot on the right foot again, and step back into wild thing. Come on back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. And on your exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Big opening through the heart. And twist to your right. Keep extending out through your fingers and straighten your right leg. And bend your knee forward again. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, lower and bend. One more time. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, lower and bend. And then reach back. Swivel the back arm forward. Open up, warrior two. Extend out through your fingers and your toes. And squeeze your heels in towards each other. Notice how that feels. And then push down into your big toe mound and try and push your toe mounds apart from each other. Notice how that feels. And reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg here and extend forward. Keep extending forward as much as you can and keep this left shoulder opening. Lower your hand down to a block, your leg or the floor, and reach your top arm up. Bend your front knee forward as you reach your top arm forward for side angle. Float on back up, warrior two, reach back, reverse your warrior. Windmill the arms, step back, down dog. Stretch your hips back nice and long. On your next inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Rise up, crescent lunge. Open up through your heart and twist to your left. And then we'll straighten and bend forward, holding onto that twist. Lift and lower. Oh. Lift and straighten and lower. One more time. Lift and straighten. Extend forward again and then reach back. Swivel the back arm forward. Open up, warrior two. Adjust your feet. Reach up and back. Reverse your warrior. And straighten your front leg. Reach all the way forward past your toes. Coming into triangle pose. Root down through your legs. Open up through your heart. Tuck this left hip underneath you. And then bend your knee as you reach your arm forward, side angle. Come on back up. Warrior 2, reverse your warrior. And windmill your arms. Step back, down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Bring your right hand out to the right a little bit. Point your right toes. And if you can, keep your toes lined up with your knee. Otherwise, open your toes out to the side. Lift your left leg up. Extend your left arm up. This is kind of like half moon, but from our hands and knees. And reach your arm over your head. Reach your toes back. Reach your fingers forward. And lift up again. One more time. Lower down. And lift back up. Roll your hand down. Come back onto your hands and knees. Bring your left hand out to the left. Point your left toes. Stack your right hip over the left. And then reach, extend through your toes and your fingers. Lift up through your hips. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Bring your hand back down. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands and step, hop, or float forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, soften and fold. Press into the earth, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Place your hands down, step back into plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, curl up into your cobra. Exhale, back. Press back, down dog. Bend your knees, pivot your toes to the left. Bring your right hand toward the center of your mat. Plant down through your right big toe and lift up. Then see if you can lift your arm and your leg up nice and high. Really active. And step your foot behind you. Lower down. Reach your hand toward your leg and then lift up again. And lower down. And lift up. And lower. One more time, lift up. Coming back into your downward facing dog. Same thing other side. So bring your left hand in, pivot your feet to the right. Pressing into your left big toe mound. Lift your hips up. And see if you can reach your leg up and your arm up. Step your foot behind you, open up wild thing. And lower your hips down and reach. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, lower and reach. Inhale, lift up and open. Come on back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. On your exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Right away, we're going to float up into half moon. So open up through your hips. Stack the hips, stack your shoulders. You can use a block underneath your hand here, but press strongly into your heel and twist. Opening up, maybe reach the leg up a little bit higher. Now we're going to bring our left hand down. Bend your left knee, cross it behind your right ankle, and sit down in between your legs, twisting to your right. Inhale back through center, and we're going to float all the way back up into half moon. Again, lower your hand down, gaze down. Sit down in between your heels, twisting to your right. And then untwist to the left. Float it up into your half moon. Nice and strong. Lower your top hand down to standing splits. Reach back through your toes and come on up into crescent lunge. Open up, warrior two. Extend back, reverse your warrior. And come all the way forward again. Windmill the arms. Step back into down dog splits. And back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Right away, open up, half moon. Maybe gaze toward the sky as you extend strong through your leg. And then lower your top hand down, bend your right knee, bring it across, lower your right foot down, slowly lower onto your shin and twist to your left. And we're gonna untwist into that half moon again, so see if you can carry the momentum of your breath and up. Really keep engaging your left glute, open up toward the sky. And lower your hand down, bend your knee, sit down in between your heels and twist to your left. Again, open up. Coming into your half moon. Lift and extend. Bring your top hand down, bend your knee, sit down between your heels and twist. Come on back through center. Step back into down dog splits. And lower your leg back down again. Just kind of shift around, back and forth. And walk your feet forward towards your hands. Lower your hips down, coming into Utkatasana chair pose. Reach your arms up. Take an inhale, lift your gaze up between your eyes, and as you exhale, stick your tongue out, make a sound. Lion's roar. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale. This time, bring your hands down, lower your hips towards your heels, as far as they'll go, and then lift them back up again. And sink down. Lift up. 2 more times. Sink down. Lift up. 1 more time. Sink down. Lower your hips down. Slowly lower onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And we'll do those same circles we did in the beginning. So holding on to each knee, separate the knees apart and bring them together, circling as you do this. Reverse the direction of your circles. Come back to center, open your arms out to the side. Pick your feet up and gentle twist to your right. Let everything relax. Inhale back to center and twist all the way over to the left. Letting your whole body relax. You can even turn your head to the right. Inhale back to center. This time straighten your right leg, tuck your left toes underneath your right leg, and twist your left knee over to the right as you turn your head to the left. This is a very deep stretch, so if your knee doesn't touch the floor or your shoulder floats up, don't worry about it. And if you can get your knee down and your shoulder down, it's pretty nice. So see if you can just relax into this. Instead of forcing it, just think of twisting. Using your breath to help you open up. You could even place your right hand on your left leg, just giving it just a teeny bit of weight. And just a couple more breaths here. Now bring your left hip back down. Straighten your left leg, maybe shift your hips to the right a little bit. Hook your right toes underneath the back of your left leg and twist over to your left. Turn your head to the right. So this side for me is a lot tighter than the other side. Notice how it feels for you. And see if you can relax into this with each breath. Again, feel free to rest your left hand on your right thigh. Really try and open up that right shoulder. So it might be pulled forward and down a little bit. See if you can keep it nice and open. A couple more breaths here. And come on back to center. Place your feet for bridge pose again. We're just going to do a little small bridge pose to lengthen the spine. So starting with your hands by your sides and your heels by your hips. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Lower them back down. Lift your hips up as you reach your arms up and over your head. Keep your legs squeezing in towards each other and reach your fingernails into the ground. And start to stretch your hips away from your fingers, keeping that posterior tilt of your tailbone, that little tuck, and slowly start to lower down. Hips towards your heels, hips lowering last. And let your weight settle in. And as you're ready, you can straighten your legs or come into any position that feels comfortable for you for Savasana. And I'll just stay here with you for about a minute or so. You can feel free to stay longer. Notice how your body feels after getting up and down and up and down. Notice if you feel more invigorated and more like tapping into your own power. Let your hands relax. Let your feet relax. Feel your whole body relaxing. And focus on your exhales and letting go. Finding that sweet surrender. That permission to let go. Begin to bring a little movement into your fingers and toes. And just slowly, however you want, you can roll your way up to a comfortable seat or rock your way up. Thank you for taking the time to join me for this practice. I hope that you feel just fully engaged and alive and connected to your breath, and to life, and to gravity, and to momentum. Please leave me a comment below, subscribe, tell your friends, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.